Welcome to SplitX, where we love the quick release feature of the Royal Oak Offshore 15720 ST series. We showcase 4 colors. Discussing choices brings clarity. Each watch is unique, and I'll introduce them shortly. Except the Platinum model, others retail at $230,000, but are under $200,000 in the secondary market. This year, Audemars Piguet's market value dropped, but enthusiasts focus on performance and issues. Hope today's review helps. Things will become clearer in our minds. I'll introduce the 4 watches shortly. Besides the Platinum model with the ceramic bezel, the official retail price for the other 3 is around $230,000, but their secondary market prices are all under $200,000. This year, Audemars Piguet has seen a significant drop in market value, but figuring out. This year, Audemars Piguet's market value dropped significantly. For watch enthusiasts, it's crucial to know which watch performs better and has more issues. I hope today's review helps. First, let's examine this milk gray model. It's called milk gray due to its overall gray texture. First, let's take a look at this milk gray watch. The dial and crown are deep gray ceramic with a matching strap. The overall tone is gray. The dial has a noticeable color difference, which is the most pronounced among these 4 watches. Both the crown and dial colors are darker than the original. Even though this watch is popular, I wouldn't recommend it as much from a realism standpoint. The black and gray contrast is clear, and the dial color is noticeably different, the most pronounced among these 4 watches. Both crown and dial colors are darker than the original. I wouldn't recommend it. Next is the Platinum model with a ceramic bezel and black dial. All steel parts are platinum, $750 on the case back. The strap is deep black, and the markers are light yellow, creating a nice black and yellow combo. It's popular. Crown and dial are darker than original. Even though it's hot now, I wouldn't recommend it for realism. Next is the Platinum model with ceramic bezel and black dial. Original steel parts are platinum, marked. Secondly, this is the white gold model with a ceramic outer ring and a black dial. The original material, all the steel colored parts are made of white gold, because you can see the AO 750 and dog head logo on the back cover. The strap is also a charcoal black strap, and its scale is a light yellow. And the 1/4 position inside the light yellow is also a light yellow, plus a black and yellow combination. It's very elegant, but since the materials aren't the same as the original, I want to pass on it. For those who are sensitive to weight differences, this might be something to consider, because after oxidation, you really can't tell much difference between platinum and steel. It mainly comes down to a few dozen grams in weight. Then let me tell you about the overall configuration of this watch. It comes from the APS toy version, and is equipped with a 43,021 body machine. The structure of the whole gene is very consistent. There are no obvious loopholes and differences. Well, the function and recognition are all okay. The thickness of the watch glass 42 is 14.5, which is also a relatively thick size. Compared with these 2 watches, I may recommend my favorite avocado green. Avocado green is really. Every time you see Lee, you will be expensive, and every time you see blue, you will go up. As for these 2 colors, I compared a lot of original videos and pictures, and these 2 colors are relatively comfortable and have a little more dialogue. So if you recommend them, if you like them, go and see more of these 2 colors. They are very good. These are all steel watches. The craftsmanship and mechanics are identical. Only the color differs. The movement is what we care about most. Check the shock absorber position, gear placement, and ruby size. It's about 95% similar to the original. This one is a rare industry find. To look at the structure of the entire movement, you can first look at the position of its shock absorbers, the positions of the gears, and the size of the ruby. Yeah, it is about 95% similar to the original version. While there are integrated versions on the market, this one is a rare industry find. The gunmetal gray texture, along with the brushed finish around the logo, really stands out. The central axis is secured with 3 screws and is polished with a delicate radial pattern. The shock absorber and the gears here, honestly, need more work. You can see the original version to see how it compares. It is a light gray color and is well treated. The central axis is fixed with 3 screws, and then polished with extremely delicate radial patterns. Shock absorbers and card. To be honest, this is a little bit off. You can take a look at this position of the original. But with a price like this, we just have to make do with what we have. There's another important point I mentioned before about the quick release feature. It's really enjoyable. You can open it in 2 stages, and it's super easy to put back together. Just slide it in, and it's good to go. But take a look at the strap. If you pull too hard, it can get a bit messed up. Personally, I see a little wear here. So when you're taking it apart, make sure to do it slowly. And it's best to use both hands to apply pressure. See that? If you yank on the rubber too hard, it can get ruined. Now, let's take a look at the overall case shape. The AP logo, the black ceramic crown, whether it's polished or has sharp edges, the centering of the crown is spot on. Did you see it? Don't yank on the rubber too hard, or it could get damaged. Now, let's take a look at the overall case shape. The AP logo, the black ceramic crown, whether it's polished or has sharp edges, the centering of the crown is spot on. Alright, the way this change is handled is spot on. The entire surface has a vertical brush texture, so we can see very fine lines that run straight down like gentle rain, then they seem to escape, creating a dynamic, flowing effect. Looks good. The delivery is movable, because it's 3 short strips. Push hard, but if we remove the lines and look at the head, we can see that the range of motion is relatively obvious. Let's talk about it from the back. No. The hex screws and center line are aligned. Screws are sunken in the outer ring. Precision is evident on the back screws. The case shape is well handled. Middle section has a green rubber ring, offering elasticity. Avocado green model has a brass crown. Ceramic platinum version has a platinum crown. It also presents a slightly sinking feeling, without protruding. The case shape is well handled. Notably, the avocado green color features a brass crown. The ceramic platinum version has a platinum crown. Let's examine the watch's dial, hands, and calendar. Without macro mode, the watch feels rough. The stainless steel version has a stainless steel crown, but only the avocado green version has a brass crown, which is something I really like about it. Now, let's go back and feel the details of the watch's dial, hands, and calendar. When I look at this watch, without macro mode, it gives me a bit of a rough feeling. The grid pattern isn't smooth and has a fine matte texture, unlike a delicate CD or fingerprint-like pattern. It's matte, similar to chocolate. In macro mode, the dials were fine texture and the outer ring's delicate CD pattern are evident. The inner circle has a fine friction feel. The number 50 is crucial, resembling dumplings with a raised center and thin border. A detail APS executes well. The center is full, with a strong, thin border. The installed markings reveal intricate details. We have talked about its numbers in many environmental pixel reviews before, just like making dumplings. The center is raised and plump. APS executes this detail well. The outer edge has a thin border. The installed markings are well thought out, with luminous paint below the metal edge. The details are spot on. The markings are well designed, with luminous paint filling the curve. The paint sits below the metal edge. This shows AP's older models can shine too. On the small CD pattern, Swiss made is printed. There's a calendar here with a double-layer bubble lens. The luminous paint on AP's older models proves they can shine. Swiss made is on the CD pattern, and markings have a strong texture. The calendar font has a double-layer lens and a magnifying glass. The surface and frame are layered, with precise printing. The hands are rounded and solid. The fine scale can show a very strong texture on the CD text. Then let's take a look at the calendar font. There is a calendar here. The font is a double-layer bubble mirror. There is also a convex magnifying glass in the thermal frame below the mirror. The surface and frame have many layers. The printing is full, and the font is precise. The hands are rounded and solid, with nicely rounded tips. The center is well done, achieving a solid look. The polishing on the hands is decent, with no burrs. The AP logo at 12 o'clock is well done with a shiny PVD rose gold coating. The font's edges are good. The text at 6 o'clock, like 300 meters and 1,000 feet, is alright, but could be fuller. The brush texture shines under macro mode. It's stunning. It's got a PVD rose gold coating, so it looks pretty shiny. The edges and corners of the font are relatively good too. The text at the 6 o'clock position, like 300 meters and 1,000 feet, is alright, but I personally feel like the fullness could be a little bit better. The delicate brush texture is truly stunning under macro mode. You all can take a look. This is the texture of the blue dial. which is pretty much the same as the avocado green. There's not much of a difference. The texture is the same. It has this grainy, matte diamond pattern. It's thick, plump, and quite bold. Now, let's take a look at the back. It really gives off a kinda. It has this gray chocolate vibe, and it feels so realistic, like chocolate. But this chocolate also makes me feel like there's a noticeable color difference. The original color is actually a bit lighter, and the mirror shows a clear blue reflection, which indicates that the mirror has a blue coating. Now, our ceramic bezel platinum version has a bit of a unique dial, folks. You can take a closer look. The black dial of the platinum model has horizontal lines on the surface, rather than a simple granular texture. The colors of the outer and inner circles also present a clear pattern. The yellow pointer is filled with luminous powder like whipped cream. It also presents a clear, whipped cream yellow. The pointers of several other models are filled with silver luminous powder. Let's show the luminous effect of this watch. We can move past AP's luminous paint. The 15720 has wider hour markers, and the luminous hands are bright. See how it looks on the wrist. It fits well on a 17 centimeters wrist. Let me show you how this watch looks on the wrist. A 42 millimeters case paired with a 17 centimeters wrist is definitely no problem. I think this watch fits well for wrist sizes between 16 to 19 centimeters.